because everyone was here on the stream already. I don't know why I was doing this intro. This is weird. Let's start over. How far away can I get from the level before it stops rendering the level? Pretty far. Do I have a camera set up? Bastard. Oh, you press control to set the camera. I am an idiot. Yeah, I've been I don't know if it's me or if it's my grinder or if it's my filters. Lately I've been having a lot of grounds escape into my cup, which is not what I want when I'm having a nice cup of coffee. I don't want to be eating the grounds. That's disgusting. Do you know how bitter coffee grounds are? They aren't really the kind of thing you want to put in your mouth. They're the kind of thing you want to put in water and extract the coffee from. Maybe if I dunk a biscuit in, all the sediment will settle to the bottom. Because the biscuit will have some deglazing shit in it, like sugar and probably oil. Probably not a good idea to do that, actually. Oh well, it's done now. So, we're making a video game, or we're trying to. Going well. It's going well. And, we're right in the middle of recovering our project from a catastrophic failure. As you can see, we're pretty far along with that. However, we are right now at the crux where some of the functionality in the old project was more advanced than the functionality in the current project, Epic Slam. And we have to kind of interpret the broken mechanics that we had in the old further along project, because a lot of the code doesn't compile anymore, to the working but primitive functionality of the current project. And I wonder how much of a point this actually makes, because we're gonna have to refactor a lot of this anyway, because it is actually garbage code. Like, no punches pulled. It's not the kind of code I actually want to deal with in the final product. So we have a UMG Combat Selector 2. Which is our combat select. I don't know what's going on with this MIP. I don't know why it's MIPed. Thank you. So we have our magic menu around it, which we actually need to scale down a little bit. Size-wise, it's 390 maybe. 380. 380 will do. So we have this. We have our attack wheel. We have our skill wheel, and no, this is not the one that we're working on. This is the old. That's the old new one. We need the new old one, which is right here. We move the combat. We moved the magic menu across directly because we were allowed to. Apparently, this diameter is no longer used. I could actually theoretically get rid of that. Well, let's just make that a little bit thinner. That's fine. Is that fine? That's fine. And then we go to our levels. We go to our combat level, our demo combat level. We play our combat level. I can show you exactly what was going on. We place our heroes down on the floor. This now spins correctly. We have the select wheel. It's full screen. Let's see what happens in full screen. Let's press the right button for full screen and see what happens in full screen. There we go. Looks fine in full screen. Looks pretty good, actually. It does the animation correctly. The animations were great to set up, by the way. And we can select spells. Here we go. So right now we have no disconnector between the action selection menu and the spell selection menu. The spell selection menu is obviously there to display the spells that we can see. I think I had scrolling on Q and E, which is not ideal. What we really want is for the action wheel to be disabled, and the scrolling magic menu to take over the input from the mouse wheel. Really, that's what we want, right? So I'll show you. It does work functionally. We can cast Fireball on that lad, and Fireball has been cast on that lad. I don't know if they have any spells. I don't think they do. But yeah, some of the things that we have to do moving forwards. I think actually, I wonder if any of this is referenced. Dummy art, CAEC. Combat actor, I'm pretty sure. Stuff like combat actor, I think, are fully prototyped out. So, although granted, I haven't deleted all the old classes, so there is a chance that I didn't finish diffing them, and this is where the grind comes in, right? I want. Oh, it has construction script. That's interesting. So we have derived turn time from agility, turn time find. HP, MP, set those. Set the child actor class, the animation actor of the thing, get actor class, CBP combat. Handler C. Interesting. So things like get actor of class, and we're getting things like the UI or the combat handler. It would be far better to not do that. It doesn't really matter, because this is turn-based combat. It can be essentially as inefficient as we want it to be, because there can be a whole bunch of flyovers. So we got decrement turn map, sum turn map, derived turn time, derived turn speed, removing combat handler, turn adjust, time adjust, turn clock, turn time, turn speed, current MP, current HP, chosen skill, skills array, and character details. So I think actually all these actors can be deleted. I think the only thing that we had extra with the skill sets, but let me open the player character and the skeleton. But I think after this we'll be at a point where you see any differences here? I see details panel. Details panel looks fairly big. It looks big on both of them though, so that's fine. It looks pretty much identical, right? Got a function there. We have a function for defend, apparently. Event defend, function defend, delay turn ending. Right, okay. That's why we have it. So the combat actors the same. And the individual CAPCs, they are just individual CAPCs. They aren't final anyway, so we can get rid of that. Dummy art. I don't think we have anything in dummy art. We had a dummy AI. We have CBP enemy controller, which I didn't do anything with. So that's fine. I think that's it. PC VGRPG combat. Oh, we can look at the old player controller, I guess. That could actually be good. Because this will show us, hopefully, the system that we had in place for spinning Low wheel, no. Mouse wheel down, mouse wheel up. Rotate cylinder CW. Rotate cylinder ACW. So that is as yet unimplemented. This is all exactly the same. Bonza. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to project settings, Epic Slam, project settings, editor startup map is going to be Demo Combat Alpha. I'm gonna go here, save all, file, save all. I'm gonna close it. I'm going to show a folder, and then we're gonna go to content. We're gonna go to game content. We're gonna go to combat BP, and then I'm gonna delete the old content folder. So there are no references to anything in engine at that time as we deleted it, so nothing is gonna have a reference broken. It's just the worst coffee I've ever made. Christ alive. It's so bitter. It's so unbelievably bitter. Right. Now that we're here, we can confirm that nothing was broken by running the game, and there are no compile errors, and the game works as it did when we left it. Skadoosh. Easy peasy. Great. Industry. No, I'm kidding. So we got to do some stuff with the UMG. And we got to do some stuff with the player controller. So let's get the player controller open. That's not good. I thought I cleared all this stuff out. Bugger. Testing textures. That's definitely old content. Totally fine. Totally fine. 100% fine. Nothing happened. We can all just move on with our lives. Right. Yes, so the magic menu actually references M fader and MI fader. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Right. Right, that seems to work now. It's an iterative process, don't worry. This happens all the time. Beautiful. So now we want to now I gotta delete that folder again. I really do have to delete that folder though. Current content. Game content. Combat BP. Old content. And now, not only is my recycle bin actually empty, but it should actually work in the program. Excuse me. I may die one day on stream, but it is not today. There we go. And now works perfectly. Beautiful. So I'm gonna do the switch. Yeah. Am I gonna do the switch there? I'm gonna do the switch here. This is already quite big. I'm gonna do the switch here. So unfortunately, this has to get a bit larger. Add a do once. Apparently I need a do once there, but I don't know why. So combat phase 3 is the regular one. So we can just have this on default to rotate cell and ACW. I think that should be it. I guess technically we don't want that on default. We want it on a combat mode, right? Enter combat. Combat phase 2 is combat. Player placement is phase 1. So we'll just plug that into number 2. And it should work perfectly. Famous last words. Obviously, there's nothing to see there. Right? And then spells. Oh! It's glorious. Can you see that? It just worked instantly. It's all the same skill. Do you like how the selector lines up with the spell hole? I don't know what's going on there. That's something we haven't done here. Apparently this works, but PC combat menu, target wheel selector reference, any ND targeting selection. What does this do? Why did I put this in? I remember doing it yesterday. I remember putting it there because there was some code that I needed to copy. And now I can't remember what the code was, and I've deleted the code. Mysteries. Mysteries. This is real mysteries. True mysteries of the game developer. So we have a switch on int with 3 cases, 0, 1, and 2. And it's wheel selector reference, so we're going to the combat selector. This is action menu index, maybe? Or magic item state. I don't think we need to do anything here. That's the thing. We have the action menu list. Let's move this out of the way of everything, huh? Action menu index. Oh, this binds to something down there. Okay. I won't move it too far then. I will move it though, because it's ugly. So event construct, action menu list, make array, action steps CW. So this is the clockwise steps of actions to spin this thing all the way around, right? Yeah. We set the action menu index to be 0, which is attack to defend, because we spin it into that position. Fold unfold magic menu. We fold the magic menu up very quickly, so no one sees it. We get the player controller. We set can input. We cast PC VGRPG Combat as PC VGRPG Combat. Target combat handler. We get the combat handler reference, and we set that as a variable local. Bind event to MEND, primary menu selection. Select the input handler, consider moving to player controller, or at least top level HUD. Top level HUD. Mouse event notified is the event called by the mouse event notifier. Fantastic. Good logic there, that works. That's easy. Simple to understand. I don't know why this is so big. And this is big, sure, but this doesn't need to be big. This needs to happen on the combat actor, really. This is debug code. This is color are we gonna make debug code? Like a teal. Like a turbo teal. Okay, setting the alpha to 2 doesn't do anything. But setting green to 2 absolutely makes it turbo teal. 1.4. Very bright color. Add a comment, just like a small comment. Just a title only comment, right? This is debug code. And we can make that a fuchsia. So we can go for that teal and fuchsia look. It's turbo fuchsia. This is debug good. So now, no matter where you are, you can see that there's a big thing right here that is debug code. You can see it. It pops out at you. Great. I really didn't spend enough time putting comments on some of this stuff. Hide magic menu. A lot of it's meant to be self-explanatory, right? The hide magic menu plays the animation that folds the magic menu up, right? You know, that's simple, right? Everyone gets that. But stuff like this, maybe not so simple. I think I'm done with that coffee. I'll have to get another drink. That was disgusting. So right. No, I mean, yeah, but what? So that's what we were referencing, right? The magic item state, which is between 0 and 2. So we have 0, which is the combat menu, 1, which is the magic state, and 2, which is the item state. So if you have the magic window open or the item window open, right? It makes sense, right? To me, it should make sense to everybody. Oh boy. I think the biggest frustration for me is that while things in UMG can reference a percentage distance across your screen's display, they can't reference the specific area denoted really by themselves or other widgets until they're drawn, and even then it's shaky. I really want I want a two-way street. I want to be able to check widgets for their size easier and use that in stuff that sets things inside the widgets based on their size and scaling. Is this too much to ask? Like I really don't want to have to make my own text. I don't want to have to make my own text boxes. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, why do I need to know which thing I'm on? Because if we're here, we already know we're in combat phase 5, which is magic targeting. Oh, right. Right. What? I'm so confused. That this has focus, right? This is what we're gonna solve right now. Why does that exist and what does it do? Back. Dummy classes. So I think we need our CA. We need our CA player character, maybe. Our CA player character might hold some answers for us. Because this is bind event to targeting selection, right? Event magic item target, event talk target, and event attack target, right? Bind event MEND targeting selection, right? Right. You see nodes. Luckily, it is not dead people. I was this close to bringing it up, and then you brought it up. Congratulations. Comment color. Working so hard you thought as well, you might say it yourself. Yes. Good call. So what's all this? Komodo hype. Is that Komodo hype or is that PogChamp? That's PogChamp. Okay, they are the same emote, but Komodo hype I think is more pure than PogChamp. PogChamp's got a history to him. Rip in peace. This is the combat active player character blueprint. And the combat actor player character is the parent class for the combat actors that represent the players. You're Mr. Icon Noobs, you wouldn't know. Well, I've got an icon for you. I'm stalling because I can't find it. There it is. I don't know why I have this. Right, so this is the player controller. This is the lad. You know what a player controller is. This is the lad that does the control input for the player in this game mode. And the game mode is combat. The game mode should really be called pain, but anyway, I have this switch on int with a PC combat menu wheel select reference, and I'm gonna get magic item state, because this is what it was, I believe. Magic item state, I believe, has 3 states. I don't know what this does. I don't know what I'm meant to execute here, so I'm trying to find that out. And it's really bad. I did a lot of this programming without planning the program out first, which was a mistake. And there's a lot of really small details in RPG style combat, which really need planning before you try and implement them. And I'm a big noob, and I'm paying the price. But today, Mr. Wormjuice, today marks a milestone of where all of the old code, for the game has been taken out of the game. There's no old code from the old project that doesn't work anymore because it's smelly. We are now actually running the game in the engine correctly, and it works. And I have fully restored the project. It only took 2 weeks. Like what, 15, 20 hours of work. I gave it a shower. Yes, it was stinky code. now I can open the spell menu and I can scroll that. I can't go back. That's one feature that I do not have. I can't go back in the list of stuff. So right now this is very dev art. Please be assured, investors. Please be insured. I will be replacing pretty much everything inside this menu. The font will be different. The font style will be different. The buttons will have materials on them. There probably won't be buttons inside the spinner because the buttons actually take longer to render and they have to have hit calculations and they actually slow your UMG down. So I'll probably replace those with just a box, a border or something. I will endeavor to get the text to fit neatly into the hole. And I think it would be cool to have like, fuck out of here. I think it'd be cool to have like an animation. So like you see where it says fireball there and it's highlighted in blue. That could be like a bullet casing or a full bullet. Why not? With the word fireball engraved on the casing, and then when you click it, it can get loaded into the spell slot, and then the wheel can do a spinny and fly off the screen or something. And you can get like maybe a reticle can swoop onto the screen or something. I don't know. I was just thinking about it a few seconds ago, and it seemed like a good idea. Because it's kind of hard to see what you're looking at. But that lad has now taken 50 points of fire damage. Now he's going to take another 75 points of physical damage. He's now dead. Or re-dead, as he was, in fact. Undead. We have everyone's player models. Big feature. Huge feature. Worm, were you here when I was doing this? I can't remember. Let me open the level, because I want to show it off again. In fact, it works in this level. These are all individual meshes now. Which is a nightmare for auditing the level, but it's a WYSIWYG. A WYSIWYG implementation of the meshes, because as you know, placed meshes in the level in Unreal Engine are instanced automatically, which means performance boost. So having, 569 static mesh actors in your scene is more performant than having, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that right? 13? Sure, why not? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13 blueprint actors that spawned instant static mesh. That was less performant. They're both, they're on par. Still rendering this many cubes, but there's fewer CPU draw calls now. There's 2 CPU draw calls instead of 13. And the way I did that, if I go to my levels and we can go to demo level 00, which is the orange world. It's interesting how that works. Well, it's it's actually obvious if you think about it, right? Because the engine isn't going to spend time going through every single blueprint that you have, finding out which ones instance meshes and which ones don't instant meshes, because you're putting them in a blueprint or a C++ actor. You're telling the engine this is its own thing. Treat it as if it were its own thing. So when you place them into the world, I thought it would be obvious to instance all those actors, but apparently until like 4.26, Epic were like, it's fine, don't need to instance crap. But yeah, you can see in this level, if I go to the Lumen scene, we'll go to the Lumen overview because it's not quite so ugly. You'll see that one thing I don't like is they get rounded off at the edges of the corners, which is gross. It's disgusting to me. I hate it. They don't have a gap in between. It's really weird. They don't have a gap in between. You can see that. But they do have this weird shadowy effect. And they have rounded corners, and it really annoys me. Like, can I change that? Like, if I go to... How do I go to my Lumen cards? It's on the static mesh component. Lighting, here we go. Advanced. There was a bit where you could change the number of cards that it would render for each actor. Anyway, the Lumen scene looks a lot better now. I don't know why that's so visible so far away in the Lumen scene. I think it's just because of the size of the lad. He is quite a large lad. Quite a large lot of lads. If we go up to it, you can see. That is really weird, isn't it? Why did these get no lumen at distance? Lad shadow. Anyway, if you see in the Lumen scene, we got a lot of dark, a lot of dark in the. This is now lit actually correctly mostly. It's very noisy, but you know where. I like those big frame rates. You can see all this stuff does not appear in the Lumen scene, so these are all still blueprint actors, right? And so you may have figured to yourself, what I've done is, in fact, in my helper, which spawns walls for me, my Hism tile helper, I have now got a button right at the top. Right at the top. Right at the top. Right here. Propagate meshes. Which will spawn a static mesh for each instant static mesh. That was that. And then you can delete the helper. And we have all of the meshes that helper put into the level as meshes in the level, which is beautiful. So it turns out Lumen doesn't see instant static meshes at all. I don't know why, but it is a problem. Anyway, oh, this is the reflection view, right? The Lumen scene, right? Okay, so the Lumen scene is the beautiful one. So we'll open that in full screen. We could see there's a whole bunch of walls which haven't been converted yet in this scene, but the whole floor has been, and it's it really does provide a lot of extra oomph when you look at it. And if we go over to our actor, actually, over here, I don't know why, but it renders like this, and it's really funny to me. Like, you can tell what it is, but it's so horribly garbled. It's beautiful. If we go to lit and we play the level, you can see there's a lot more bounce lighting now. Things are orange, things are bright. The cup in the editor is clear. The cup in game is not clear. I don't know why. If I were to boot this as a standalone instance, it would be the same color as the espresso cup and the teacup, the coffee mug, whatever you want to call them. But it's, you know, it's a beer mug, a Stein, a jockey. Doors open now as well, which is a huge piece of progress. I don't think any of this is has been set up right. So let's get out of here real quick. If we go all the way out here, we can see, like in this area, you can see like there's some better reflections. It looks a lot nicer, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Back in the dark times, this was a very dark tunnel. Like there was no splash lighting from that little shaft. The shadows are still a bit swimmy. On stream, I'm afraid there's pretty much nothing I can do about that. I'm streaming. I have to wrangle the GPU a little bit, right? But you can always change the lumen settings to propagate light a bit faster or burn the GPU into the floor entering the scene. But you know, it's a lot nicer now, and the lumen scene is happy about it. And yeah, that was the progress that I made there, and that is, for anyone wondering, if we edit the Hismk tile helper, we have propagate meshes here, which is just a regular old function. Just not a function, an event. Yeah, an event in the event graph. Colon editor is tagged. That's all you need to do. That will put it into the UI underneath the general variables. And then we get our Hismk. Those blueprints, they have instant. Do they have distance fields turned on? Oh, can I do that? Can I do that? That doesn't seem to be something I am allowed to do. Controls whether the primitive should affect distance field lighting methods. Normally in the details panel of the mesh in the blueprint. I can get it, but I don't seem to be able to set it. Yeah, the only things I can set are set distance field resolution scale and set distance field self shadow bars, neither of which I can get the variable from here if we get distant. Yeah. Get effect distance field lighting. But I can't set it. A true shame. Where is the Hismk node? Doesn't that have details? Yeah, right here. Oh. It's that. It's ticked. They're both ticked. Effects, dynamic, direct lighting. Well, at least now you know. Yeah. What can we set on this lad though? Not a lot. Mm. Ooh. Let's try that. Why not? Why not? Show me that lumen scene. Nah, didn't do anything. Unfortunately. I think it is just the apparent size of the lads. Maybe if we used global tracing instead of detail tracing, maybe it would work better. Well, this one still hasn't been done either. Yikes. I'm gonna try that. That works even worse. Nice. Oh. But we can get the... rendering post-process. So while you're getting pissed, the file's been super annoying, you realize you may misunderstanding what you see. Your sight range seems they're very short-sighted. It's basically they just don't know better, as everything within their range is always new. God damn it, flies! Do you need a prescription, bro? Lumen Global Illumination. This is what I was afraid of. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Yeah. What the fuck is what the So global tracing takes into account instanced meshes, but it looks so garbage. And there's light leak like nothing else. Oh my god. Whoa, look at that noise. That is insane. I think my GPU might be about to give up on that one, I'm afraid. It doesn't see them. It kind of does see them. It kind of sees them. It knows they're there, but it shades them black. Is it the material? Don't tell me it's just the material. Don't do this to me. That's the mesh, bro. It's material instance. mdemo PCL2. And this is used with static lighting, morph target spline meshes, geometry collections, hair strands, lidar, nanite, particle sprites, skeletal mesh, mesh particles, geometry cache, Niagara mesh particle, instant static meshes. Am I getting distracted? I just came to show you the cool thing that we go through the loop. We get the instance transform. If there was a return value, we branch, and then we spawn actor static mesh. Spawn actor static mesh actor. Static mesh actor is the actor that we use for static meshes in the level. That's all you need to do. Skadoosh. And then you set the static mesh to the static mesh, and then you set the material to the material, and then you add spawned meshes to the array spawned meshes. And I don't know why we do that, but we do it. I think it might be cool. Very nice, thank you. It might be cool to have this have like an input and a name. Good job. And then we can have an actor in the level that keeps track of all the different clusters of spawned static meshes, and we can name them and stuff. And instead of having to like look at them in the level editor here, we can reference them in the thing, or at least we can. Can I actor name? Set asset name? No. Set material by name, set parameter value by name, set node. Context sensitive, my dude. Editor scripting asset tools, rename assets. Renames assets using the specified names. Rename assets with dialogue. Assets and names. Oh god. Nope. I've got massively distracted, yes. I don't think we're going to use global tracing. I think we're going to use detail tracing. If I can spell, Lumen. I think 2 was enough, right? To show stuff like the lintel. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. It really is freaking out. Oh, that's rough. Preview. What is preview in there? It's really annoying me. It's a stationary light, that's why. Do I dare rebuild lighting? I do. I do dare. That's pretty cool. Now you see the building has been removed from the reflection traces now. What the fuck? Love this game. I'm just gonna real quick load a different level. Okay, so if it just has a regular mesh, it's fine. It's very interesting. So instead of using hierarchical instance static meshes, we're just going to use regular mesh components for stuff like ladders and stairs. That's fine. Can probably just actually do that very quickly right now. What? Ooh! Just that little crack of sunlight there on the carpet. Peak. Okay, that's enough messing. I need to edit his image. Stair helper. Right. The static meshes do need to collide, yeah. This is going to be static meshes. It's going to be an array. Did you really need to? Thank you. Right. So we aren't going to do any of this. We are going to need this though. This is extraordinarily fun, by the way. I want to clear children. Destroy component. Lovely. Collapse to a function, which is going to be called clear any child meshes. And this is going to be a function called add new child mesh. A little bit spaghetti, but it's fun. Lovely. Yeah, so instead of set hismk, we don't need that. We will just clear any child meshes. Ah, yes. Yes. We do need to actually add the value into the array. And go to our construction script. Shouldn't have any events. Oh, we have an event. Construct. I don't think we use that actually, but okay. So we clear any child meshes. We don't do that at all. Remove execution bin. This does actually need... I think we just... do that, and it should be fine. Relative transform clip body. And there you go. All the ladders, instead of being hierarchical instant static meshes, are now mesh components, which means that they show up in the Lumen scene, which is potentially more important than them being performant. We could eventually move this to simply have the stairs be a collider between placed static meshes in the world, but I think that's getting to a level of obsession with performance that we don't actually need to approach at the moment. As you can see, they still work as stairs, and they show up in the Lumen scene, so they spread wonderful GI into the world. I am almost 100% sure that every time I boot this project up, this grass mesh gets a little bit more corrupted, which is good. We love corrupted meshes in our... I have enabled debug mode. Oops. Let's take a closer look at that snout. No, it isn't super evident here, but it's it's definitely different, and it definitely still works, which is the main thing, I think. Another thing that we haven't actually tested, if we move this, they should automatically clean up and recompile. They do. It's not quite as fast as it used to be, is it? There's a little bit of a hole behind them. What about something like this? This really isn't going to be fast, is it? It's fine. It's not that slow. I think it's just Lumen updating, I think, that made it look slow. Which you probably would have done anyway. And the ladders as well. We need to do the exact same thing with the ladders. So we can actually delete is in use. Really? Where? Oh, event graph. How about we go thermonuclear on the event graph, huh? Mesh size. Right, okay, yeah. Hisnc ladder helper. Reset boxes, event begin play. Event begin play? Right, okay, we can't change any of that. That's valid, that's variable. Construction scrapped. Create dynamic material instance, yes. Dynamic instance, yes. Add hierarchical instance static mesh component, no. Not that, I'm afraid. So we need to add a static mesh component, which is a static mesh component object reference. Yes, it is. It's actually an array of static mesh component object references. And stair helper, we need a new child mesh, clear any child meshes. That just works apparently. I don't need this. I need construction script. Here we go. Clear any static meshes. And then we need add new child mesh. Did I actually put spaces in that? I did. The nerve of it. I know. We don't need material reference though. We need dynamic instance. Because the material is going to be the dynamic instance material and not a material reference. Because it's a dynamic material. Has a collider, a box that's dragged through it. to simulate the melting of the steel beams. And we add that to the static meshes array. Compile save. Constructor on script. So none of that. Add instance no. Add instance no. Instead of add instance, we have a new child mesh. And that should also work perfectly fine. As you can see, the ladders are now represented just about in the Lumen scene. They are also gobbled nanite, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. And theoretically, we should still be able to climb up and down them. Gotta actually check that, because part of me feels like the collision mesh is okay, and part of me thinks that it probably won't work. But there you go, it works perfectly fine. Climbing up that mesh ladder like it wasn't even a mesh ladder at all. You can see that lovely material in work right there. I want to do it again. It's fun. Am I tanking the stream? I'm tanking the stream. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tank the stream, friends, but I am tanking the stream, allegedly. What is that? Oh no, the lighting's back to kill us. The lighting's back to haunt us again. Oh yeah, that is a potato frame rate right there. Very sorry about that. Very sorry about the potato frame rates. Let's go into the potato frame rate room to cool down. Is that better? You happy now? Yeah, I think it's the fog that's doing that blue now. There's no light leaking, as you can see there. The corners of the room are impervious to the sun's rays, but the fog, I think, is not. Oh! It was bright for a moment, and then it was not. I mean, you can see that the carpet now is reflecting. You can see that the carpet is now reflecting on the wall there underneath in the shadow, where there's a little flash of red. Streambug cannot see that. They're watching without video. But hi, Streambug, what's going on? What's happening? I'm still working on the project. Project is still being worked on. You can. Streambug can now see the video. That was fake. Fake news. Get wrecked. I have been wrecked. But you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff now which update the global illumination. I don't know why turning left removes that reflection from the wall, but it does. Is that me reflecting in that wall? It can't be. Oh, it's the lamp. The lamp is reflecting the wall, but it's too far away to be counted for lumen reflections. So it's only a screen space reflection. I see. I understand. Really, the reflection weights should be based on, you know, what's bright in the scene, right? The lighting is also fucked right there. There's a big white shiny on the top of his head there for a second. What was that? Making a game in Scratch, then you're gonna try Godot-ifying it. Why don't you just like I know it sounds reckless, but why don't you start in Godot? I don't know anything about Godot either. Godot is a scary engine with scary programming language in it. GD script. There's some real wild culling going on here. You see that? That is intense. This is the exact thing. This is the exact effect that you see in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Where it has extreme frustrum culling going on. So like if there's something in the scene and then you can suddenly see it again, you'll suddenly see the skybox instead for a brief second. It's something that annoyed me a lot about the game, but it's also like the calling card of Unreal Engine. Looks cool. Very cool. What about this room? You got some weird effects here. Like it looks fine, right? There's like a haze, but it's lighting the entire back corner of that room with screen space when it actually really shouldn't be. Realistically, if look, I'm stood here now and there's none of that going on. This is why people hire technical artists, because technical artists know how to nice. I'm being bombarded again. Technical artists know what's going on and know how to fix it. So if we look at that lumen scene here, we got... Has that crusty lighting gone away? It has not. You're gonna save up and buy 100. Do it. That's only 6,900 points. That is true. That is true. This static mesh actor is too small to be rendered by the lumen lighting. So the whole thing is screen spaced. Forgot daily dungeon. Uh-oh. Alright, we're just doing it for this one mesh. This one lad right in the middle of the screen. Mit Edu, this game, you want to make a quality version of it, unfinished, needs a shop, and that's a fun mini game. Also, you can't get hit. Lamau. Like, not getting hit. I'm gonna have to look it up. I've gotten so distracted today. It's unbelievable how distracted I've been today. UE5 Lumen card setting. You gotta eat? Okay. Well, eat and enjoy eat. Whatever you eat, enjoy the eat. I did not enjoy my eat because my eat was actually horrible coffee. I don't know how I messed it up so bad. It's the static mesh editor. Right. Lumen only places 12 cards on a mesh. Realistically, most of my meshes are cubes, so they will only really require 6. Right, it's in the mesh editor. Edit 16 VX plush carpet. Card, max lumen cards. 6. How's that? How's that deal with you? Huh? It doesn't look any different. What a good mesh. Build settings. Here we go. Oh, I didn't apply the changes. Right. Now what? Nothing seems really that different. I'm not gonna lie. That should be like a top and a bottom, really, right? We're all seeing the same stuff, right? This basically isn't changing. R visualize. Oh, hello. Okay, so it's the distance field resolution is what gets us those crisp edges. Right, okay. I want to look around because these card renderers are really do tank the editor frame rate. Oh my god. I gotta make it stop. I gotta make it stop. So yeah, I think dropping the dropping the number of cards down to 6 for the blocky stuff. What does that look like, right? So I kind of just want to get it to a point at which there isn't this weird tiling pop on the thing. You know, it doesn't make that much difference, but we're losing something. I don't like it. I gotta apply the changes. Okay, I think we hit a floor of how small we can make this. I don't know. Ah! Come back! Come back! I didn't apply the changes. Cause that's pretty nice. Like, the distance field is pretty nice right there. But like, what's the cost? What's the cost of a big distance field? You know? I closed Chrome. UE5 distance field resolution cost. Mesh distance fields. Let's read this. How's it work? Represent a static mesh surface. Assign distance fields is used for using storing the distance of the nearest surface and volume texture. For every point in the exterior of the mesh is considered a positive distance. To any point inside the mesh stores a negative distance. Example below. Positive distance is being traced and stored to represent the tree later on. The first property of an SDF that makes them useful is that when ray tracing, you can safely skip through empty spaces. The distance nearest to the surface is already known. This is sometimes called sphere tracing. It allows the intersections to be determined in a small number of steps. By ray tracing, a distance field visibility result is produced, meaning that if ray intersects the mesh, and the light will be shadowed. Second property that makes SDF, I don't care, like, oh, visualize mesh distance fields. We can just look at it. Where? Here it is. I like how the post-process material is still post-processing the original models. So you can kind of diff them really easily. Ah, it looks so weird. Like, stuff like this floor I don't really care about. Stuff like the grass is fine. But like, it really does annoy me that the bricks have got this weird feel to them. And also, now hold on now, hold on now, hold on now. Why are the mesh distance fields for these ones better than the mesh distance fields for these ones? Oh, because they haven't been rebuilt, maybe? God, do I have to move you? Nope. That wasn't it, apparently. Well, you know, they're not that great. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but hold on now, hold on now, hold on, hold on now. What's this one at? That one's at 4. Are these a different mesh? This is dev ladder. And this is... Ah, MI lad. No. Weathered steel ladder. They're different ladders. I'm sorry. I am an idiot. That is why it is not working. Uh, 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. It's divisible by 17. Well, that's funny. 17 doesn't look like a binary number. Was it a funny enough joke for you? Was it good? Did I do good? There it is. Yeah, it turns out it was a different mesh. That's why I wasn't looking. You know it was a good joke though. You know it was a good joke. 16V unit stars. 16VX dev stars. What are these? These are the 16VX dev stars. That's way better. That's way better. Isn't that way better? Is it crushing my performance? I don't really think it is, actually. I think it is. I mean, it definitely is, but... Let's have a look at the lumen scene again. It definitely improves the lumen scene on these small lads. 10001 is 17 in binary. It looks like we found the solution to the division problem then, right? Because they look like very similar numbers, don't they? I don't know. I don't know. I just. Do you want to do it? If we're talking about binary, then 10111111111111111 is divisible by 10001. Okay. 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 Look, okay, I get it. My joke was dumb. I understand that my joke was dumb. Build. Property editor. Build. Asset import data. But you can't set the number of cards here. You want to code a game in Python, right? You don't have Pygame, so that's a bit of a difficulty. You can just sharp get Pygame, can't you? You can just download Pygame. I mean, you don't need Pygame to code a game in Python, do you? Not really. I'm still recording. That's the corner one, right? It is not the corner one. It is the other one. It's this one. So is 2 good enough for stuff inside for stuff for walls and stuff like this? Or do I need to crank it all the way up to 4? Exponential height fog, here we go. The fog starts 256 units away from you, which is basically the size of this room. Yeah, it was just the fog throwing us some curveball. Uh, I worry about the door, but it doesn't seem to be a massive issue. We just demo door. That, my friend, is a mish. And what we're gonna do again. I'm actually gonna drag that window off so I can see in real time. Show, visualize, mesh distance field. So that's at a resolution of 2. That's at a resolution of 1. That's at a resolution of 4. Which is pretty crisp, let's be real. That is a pretty crisp door. That's practically identical to the mesh that it represents. Practically. It's getting real close. If we just step out of there. This lad, however, pull him out here. First thing is we do not enable nanite support. Or, actually, $1,500. Yeah, the nanite mesh has the same number of verts as the base mesh, so we're just gonna Black Void Titan rating with a party of 5. Oh my goodness gracious me, I'm doing boring stuff today, but hi everybody. Skulk Off Foxes, Black Void Titan, and Pancake Witch. Welcome to the channel, everybody. And everyone else who did not say anything. You are welcomed as well. I'm just I'm messing with Nanite and Lumen right now because I got distracted and I was gonna do UI, but Mr. Titan will relay to all of you just how much we all enjoy working with UI. You bring good news. Wait, is it Friday? It's not Friday. But it will be Friday on Friday. And how is your stream? Icewind Dale party is complete. Yes. That is what I wanted to hear. UI is so much fun. Absolutely is. It's like, if I could only do UI, that would be perfect. Is that too much? We'll try 4, like same as the door. He's a little bit softer. Not doing these in odd numbers, apparently. I don't like odd numbers, allegedly. How are you all doing? How was your stream, again? How was your time? What were you doing, in fact? The lighting is a lot more crisp, which is kind of nice, but also kind of not nice. Do you think artistically it would be a viable thing to make the lighting on these voxel models less crisp for the purposes of actually lighting them as if they weren't voxel models? If we come over to our hero prop here, yeah, it's lit pretty hard. It is lit pretty hard. Stream was good, did more level generation stuff and creature animation. That's very nice. Let's just see what number 1 looks like again. I don't see a change here. Like, I honestly don't see a change from the distance field resolution. Like in terms of lighting. But I think distance field's just for... Oh wow. It's getting a bit... 12 capture cards... Sorry, 18 capture cards makes the skeleton look very scary. I'm gonna have to take that out. What about 20? What about 24? That's more than... That's double the standard amount. What about 4? It doesn't seem to appreciate any of these things as changes, which is interesting. So it gives 6 normally. Put it back up to 12 just in case. Put the distance field back up to 6. Ah, right, okay. So the cards really don't do jack all in terms of lumen representing the object. I'm pretty sure they're just for reflections. Although we have the reflection view here and it didn't do anything there either. So surface cache getting a little bit confused down here. Surface cache doesn't know what to do with the grass. But that's okay. It's getting a bit Lovecraftian. Always a good direction to move towards, I feel. Lumen scene. We'll give him 8 cards. That's fine. I feel like 4's a happy medium. Like, we could just have everything run at 4, and it would be fine. What about 12? Let's jack it all the way to the moon. That is crisp. That is pretty much exactly what you get. And I can feel my PC overheating as we look at this Skillybob. If you're wondering why most of the scene is black, don't wonder. See, there's stuff over here which is rendered correctly, and the stuff over here which is not rendered correctly, we don't talk about it. I think it's probably fine just to have 6 mesh cards on everything. And then the distance field resolution can be 6 for hero props. Things like people can be 4 for level stuff because I'm obsessive. And then it can be 1 or 2 for non-shadowing detail props like grass and carpets. Although my carpet in there is 4, so I don't know what's happening there. My thumb is still a bit stiff, by the way, if anyone's wondering about my thumb. I don't know what I did to it, but it's getting better, but I don't know, it's not happy with its existence right now. See if it'll break my PC by playing the game. Just want to preview some of those changes. So the bane of my existence is exponential height fog. It makes your level look great, and then it makes your level look terrible at the same time. I don't think I have anything to say about this scene right now. It looks pretty normal, if you ask me. Everything looks pretty standard. The duality of fog. Yes. And we come in here. I've increased the SDFs of the walls, and I've increased the SDFs of the floor, and I've increased the SDF of the Skeleborb. They don't really look much different. I've decreased the number of cards Lumen gives everything. That's the camera popping against the wall or something. Nothing interesting. Is that wall okay? Is that wall actually cursed? Like, I feel like there's some better lighting in between the cracks. I feel like it like the grouting is much more detailed, like the 3D. It's that shadow right there of that lamp. That's what's going on. The lamp keeps unrendering itself, which is fine. Whatever. I feel like the 3D reflections and detail is a lot better. I feel like maybe the fall off for this lamp was a bit insane because you can't even see the door. You can see under the door. That is just under the door. There is a gap under the door, so that's accurate, I guess, but not exactly wanted. That wasn't the door. I tried to open it without looking. There it is. And then we're at the color splash on the inside. Yeah, it's normal. I don't know what to say. Like the SDFs increase the fidelity of the lumen scene, right? So that you can see each block rendered in the lumen scene uses the SDF of the block to render itself, right? So the higher resolution the SDF is, the fewer cracks you'll have in between a bunch of actors placed next to each other, so you'll have less light leak. And I cannot believe we've come to a point in video game technology where light leak is a sliding scale and not a boolean, whether or not your program will run or not, which is pretty nice. But you can see the SDFs for the ceiling are garbage. That's one, and you can see there's holes. You gotta call it here because you stream for like an hour more than you intended. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you for the raid though, Black Boy Titan. Everybody, if you're not, hold on. If you're not, I realize there may be some people here who do not know Mr. Black Boy Titan. If you're not following Mr. Black Boy Titan, go follow. And thank you again for the raid. You have a nice evening. You go do your evening things and enjoy your evening. So massive rushskis. Yes, but go do your things. So you can see here, each SDF has got its own lighting profile based on the lumen scene. Like this, and the reflection captures stop after about 2 meters, which is fantastic. The actual lumen scene is very smooth, very nice, very good. And the cracks between each one of these objects, SDFs, is quite small, so there's limited, if any, light leak into this room. There is categorically a hole right here under the door. There you go, you saw it. It's not a direct path of light, so it kind of glitches out a little bit. I think it will just be a thing to put in my editor's notes to maybe... I mean, think about how drafty this house is going to be. I'm opening Trello. I'm going to press the button and Trello won't open, and then I'm going to open Trello manually, and it'll be hilarious. Boom. Everybody laugh now. It was a funny joke. It's a running thing that Trello doesn't boot from my Trello button anymore, and every time I update it, they update Trello, and so it doesn't boot from the Trello button anymore. Notes to do, assets 3D development. I'm gonna need a drink real soon because my throat is. It's getting close to the evening, so I might just throw my hands in the air, admit that I've been defeated by UI for another week, and play a video game. Design dock. Here we go. Design dock. World notes. Make lattice and other traversable surfaces obvious with the bright colors. I need design dock. Portraits. Combat action. Stat block. Combat stats. Design dock combat. Enemies. Swords. Gun types. Gun mods. Demon world. Cup sizes. Buy art off some of these people. If anyone knows cool artists that I need to buy art off, apparently they have to go on this list. Apparently I wanted art from all these people for this game. I cannot afford that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 artists. That's, call it $100 per art. That's $1.5 grand. No, I don't have the money. I asked Epic for money, and they said maybe next time. That's fine. Done. That's my done list. All this is dunesies. Buildings. Demon World. copy list. Design doc buildings. Handle 2x2x6. No. It's gone now. Design doc building. Some type of flag under all doors to prevent drafts and light leak. So one thing that I hate about Trello is if you make a card on the PC version of Trello, right? And you write in the card, right? And then you click off the card, still with me, it saves the card to the Trello. On the Android version of Trello, if you put a card on a list, and you write in the card on the list, and then you click off the card, or you press the back button, that is the defocus key, Q, for Android, it deletes it. Why would it delete it? There's a delete button. There's an archive button. There's a interaction to do that. But if you just click off it, it's like, oh, you didn't want that, boss? No problem. It's the complete opposite workflow across the platforms. And drives me insane. Drives me absolutely insane when people make design choices like that. Drives me insane. Anyway, happy, fun, happy stuff. Unreal Engine doesn't seem to be doing so well, so I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna open it again. It's really annoying. Like, I can't set the I can't set. So I have a few meshes here, right? What am I looking for? Distance field resolution. Oh, I can set the distance field resolution. I can't set the number of cards individually. Bulk edit number of surface cards UE5. Bulk edit number. Creating fluid simulation in Unreal Engine 5. That's not what I wanted. Unreal Editor interface. Description menu bar, Unreal Engine. UE5 special part 2, Lumen and others. Oh god, that's not my language. Not a thing, apparently. It's fine. And these are all static meshes, but we can shader cook statistics. We can asset actions, bulk edit by property metrics, and we can "28 streamable render asset objects." Incorrect. Nice try. I have a texture there, that's why. Now we can do asset actions. Bulk edit via property metric. My nose running? My nose never runs. What the hell? I hope that's not serious. You know exactly what I mean. Oh boy. Distance field. Distance field. Distance. Distance. Distance field. Nope. Is there something wrong here? 27 static mesh objects. Are you kidding me? Hold up. What are you? I'll stare up. You have different stuff to everyone else's stuff. Distance field resolution scale. Right there. Asset import data. Apparently. FBX static mesh import data. What has gone on? Why does some of them have it and some of them don't? This is really weird. Lattice C does. And it's kind of annoying that I have to change it for each one, and I can't just select them all and then... And now that we have that, we can change the distance field resolution scale to 6. And that didn't work. Nothing. Do you know what this means? There it is. Distance field resolution scale. Uno. Right. I'm gonna drag this off screen. Right? And then I'm gonna hope that if I open, we can just enable and disable nanite here. That's nice. Oh, I missed one as well. Disable nanite on all those. Edit? They should open on the other screen. They taking their sweet time to open anyway. They are doing something though. The engine has frozen. It's good. It's always good. Could it be? Oh no, there they are, and none of them opened on the right window. It's fine. It's, you know what? I don't even care anymore. Do not even care. We'll just do it. We'll just do it, and we'll know not to do it in the future. I wonder if it's something I can do when I import the meshes to begin with. Oops. So the Lumen mesh cards, as we've said, I don't think I need 12 per mesh. I think 6 is going to be fine, because most of the meshes rely on the shape of the cube, so their reflections are only going to be relevant in 6 directions, believe it or not. And so having 12 mesh cards is just, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to run with 6 on everything, which halves the number of cards. And then I'm going to sextuple the size of the resolution of the SDFs, which is probably going to mean computational lighting is going to get more expensive, and we're going to have more VRAM to play with to have more instances of meshes available on screen at any one time. For everything else, world blocks, I'm going to change the light map index, no, the distance field resolution to 4 instead of 6. And then for anything that's basically translucent or transparent, that'll be an Uno, because it doesn't stop light, if you know what I mean. And this is what the distance field resolution scale is. It's about stopping light and it's about splitting light. So the mesh cards, as I understand it, are what is represented on the surface cache. So if we reduce the mesh cards by 2, we could potentially increase the mesh card render distance by 2, or a factor close to 2. Probably not actually 2, because of the inverse square law. Is it the inverse square law? The further away you get from a radial source of something, the strength, the distribution of rays are reduced by the square of the distance. So the further away we want to render things, the number of things that we want to render are going to increase by the square of the distance away. So we'll be able to increase them. We'll be able to, if we reduce the cards by a factor of 2, we'll be able to increase the distance that we render the cards at by a factor of √2. There you go. Principal base maths on the fly. What is this? Distance field resolution scale 2. Max lunar mesh cards 6. Oh, this is only a 2er. That's only a 2er. I guess that's fine. Looks okay. Looks okay to me. Are you kidding me? Hello, the nanite vertices? Hello, the nanite vertices, 1246? The fallback vertices, 1244? And they look the same? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you for real right now, bro? That's the kind of stuff that I can't deal with. But at the same time, for good reason. For good reason, it is like that. Hello, idle friend. Are you okay? Don't tell me you're a different mesh altogether. It's right there. That is the mesh that it's using. Yo. Author my mesh, bro. Oh, it's... it's on the other screen. Do not at me. But that was a good look at the difference between the two meshes that it's sat now. So you can see that the lumen scene now pretty well accurately, mostly. The colors are a bit fucked, but that's mesh cards in it. In fact, a good moment that we can actually check out what the mesh card does, because now we have an accurate SDF, right? We have an accurate SDF in our lumen scene of the shape of our object. So now actually we might be able to see what a mesh card does. So this is 6 mesh cards. We'll go up to 12. 12 mesh cards that didn't seem to do anything massively helpful. 24 mesh cards. That's quadruple. Nothing. Right, okay, so mesh cards don't do anything, kids. You could have 1 mesh card and it would look fine. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I can't actually see if my GPU is tanking because I have a bunch of windows over my OBS. Let's see if this tanks the GPU. Theoretically, it should tank the GPU less. . It's definitely tanking the GPU. That is definitely taxing. It feels great. Like on my monitor, on my main screen, feels great. Feels fantastic. Feels buttery smooth. But I can see the feedback. And we get 60 FPS there on stream. And there it's kinda yeah, that's taxing the GPU right there. When you gotta render a whole bunch of these SDFs? Is that what you don't like? When you have a whole bunch of high definition SDFs that you have to interact with? Is that what you don't like, Lumen? That appears to be exactly what it does not like. Interesting. So we'll go into the room, which has got better SDF floor. And actually, check out the reflection on the door there. That's pretty nice. GPU heavy, I think, is the word. Door is not closed. It's dark in the room. There is still a gap under the door. Very angry about that. Some weird lighting going on there, buddy. Friend, is it going to be weird again if I get away from you? I don't know. I think it's something, and oh my goodness gracious me, the stream is lagging just a little bit. Just a little bit of lag. Just the tiniest bit of lag. Wonder why. It's not like we have you know, advanced profiling tools to find out. I think that's fine for gobbles. The sky is freaking out though. Okay, sky, right? My goodness gracious me. Uh-huh. Very well optimized. Light maps and balks. Good to know. Okay. I've been sufficiently distracted. I'm gonna I'm gonna give in. I'm gonna give in to Unreal for now. I'm gonna make a note on the Trello, the to-dos. Oh, I had a design doc blank notes there. God damn it. To-do. Add a card. Research the impact of high resolution SDFs in Lumen Scene. That's gonna be that's a pretty high priority beast. Do you know I can do stat GPU, can't I? So I can type this in and I can do stat GPU. So it doesn't. Lumen Scene lighting, Lumen reflections, capsule shadows. Kidding me? Global distance field update. It's 1.9 milliseconds. It's not bad. Bro, I don't get it. It's fine. It's totally fine. 42 milliseconds. Lighting update. Lumen reflections. When stuff moves. Right, okay. 33.8 on capsule shadows. Okay, that looks like an erroneous thing. Yeah, it's tanking the stream, but it's not actually running slowly. That's the problem. It's just using more of the GPU resources that OBS wants back, because OBS uses like 52% of my GPU to encode the videos. Ridiculous, I know. But actually, this isn't too bad. It's terrible if people want to stream the game, obviously. But yeah, it's not actually bad. I don't think it's actually anything worth writing home about. Anyway, I've been wildly distracted from the actual goal of today, which was to fix the UI completely. We did implement the spinny radial menu and the spinny magic menu, which is pretty good. Stat GPU right there. So yeah, we managed to implement the player control of the magic menu, and we're basically back to where we were. But I would really like to go forward from this point. I don't really want to do any refactoring, but it may actually be better in the long run to refactor some of the combat logic, some of the combat handling logic, maybe next sesh, just to keep the game up to speed. And also, don't forget to fiddle with the import settings when you import new meshes. So that's something to keep an eye on. Anyway, that's it for this segment. Thank you for coming to this segment. If you came to this segment, thank you, Black Void Titan, for rating this segment, bringing you people around here. Thanks for chilling out. And if you'll join me after a few moments, we'll be back here with some Pathfinder.